Hi guys, hi, how's it going? How you doing today? Hopefully today finds you well. Today we are doing a Shop My Stash and I'm really excited to talk to you guys about it because Shop My Stash has been kind of a tumultuous project in my life over the last year. This is one full year in Shop My Stash and I've made some decisions. So I'm so excited to talk to you guys about it today. If that sounds like something you're interested in, please keep on watching. For those of you new here, hi, my name is Donna. I am a lover of all things high-end, colorful beauty and self-care. I also work in the beauty industry as a district leader for Ulta Beauty, so I like to bring you all the education that I'm receiving in that position. And it's a lot of education, and I am so eternally blessed and grateful for all the education that I receive there. I want to make sure that you get it, that you get that education as well. I do a lot of hauls here. I do a lot of reviews here. And yeah, I just kind of like to chit chat about makeup, and you people are my people to talk to about makeup. If that sounds like something that you're interested in, if our channel sounds like something that you might be interested in, I hope that at the end of the day, you'll want to subscribe to the channel, keep on watching, and make conversation down in the comments because I do respond to all of my comments. Let's jump into this Shop My Stash. Alright, so for those of you not new around here, you know that this Shop My Stash has been rather difficult for me. I started one this year, and while there are a lot of YouTubers out there that have a grand old time with Shop My Stash, I have not been one of them. And I don't feel like my camera is very mobile, if I'm honest. It's super heavy, I can't hold on to it, and I have this giant lens on it. It's just been problematic for me. But I have liked the rotation in my product so much that I'm going to do these every single month this year. And I'm excited about it because that means I'm going to get use out of more of my product. I'm going to get familiar with more of the products in my collection. And after doing my inventory, I know that that is a serious problem in my collection. So I'm excited to talk to you guys about the products that I used in the last rotation of Shop My Stash, which was every other month last year. And I'm excited to pull products for the rotation in Shop My Stash for this month because we're going to be doing it monthly. And what that also means is I maybe don't need to pick as much product in my Shop My Stash, because what I've also noticed is there's some product that's just not getting any kind of use in the Shop My Stash because I pick my favorites and then I use that. I do have all the product here in front of me. We'll talk about it and then I'll bring you in close and we'll pull more product. Okay, so first things first, I have this Laura Mercier Pure Canvas Primer. It's a blurring primer. I hated this primer. I think that this primer is made for oily skin, and I am not a huge fan of blurring primers in the first place, but this is what it looks like. It's not that bad. Like, consistency wise, it is very thick and it feels like it should be, like, just looking at it and like feeling it as you're massaging it into your hands to put onto your face, it feels like it should be emollient. But the truth of the matter is it goes on and it just kind of, it blurs everything. I will give it that, but it feels like the consistency of glue as you're putting it on your face. I feel like you have to use a lot of it to get the entirety of your face, and maybe that's just me because I have a big head. But I mean, it really does its job with blurring everything out, mattifying everything for sure. I have super dry skin. I don't necessarily need a mattifying primer. And I also am not like acneic or don't have problem skin for the most part, except for my dry skin. I don't feel like I need a pore filling primer either. So I'm going to declutter this primer because I just didn't love it, to be honest. So the next thing we have here is this. This is also an item I'm going to be decluttering. This is the Studio Makeup Tinted Moisturizer, and this is in the shade Oat, I do believe. It's not, I mean, really the component is not that bad. You can see I did use quite a bit of it. I was really trying to test it and see if this was the product that I didn't like or if it was that primer. I've used them both separately. I realize I don't like either one of them. Not the right color for me, right? That's really white. It makes me look really pale, and that's fine. But I also don't feel like it goes over my skin in a way that I love it. I feel like it's very patchy. I feel like if I use a brush with it, I can see the brush strokes, which I've never been able to see with a tinted moisturizer. I also feel like it's a little bit thicker than I like a tinted moisturizer to be, and it doesn't sink into my skin the way I like a tinted moisturizer to do. So I will also be getting rid of that. This is the Clinique Ever Better Makeup Broad Spectrum SPF 15. This is a really great, lightweight, fuller, medium to full coverage foundation. I feel like it's a little bit too dark for me, so I feel like this will probably work better for me in the summer. I feel like it's an amazing foundation. I really like the way my skin looked. It didn't exacerbate any texture on my face. It didn't exacerbate any dryness on my face. I really felt like it was really good, and I love the fact that it has an SPF 15 in it. This is the first foundation I've tried by Clinique, and it's really up my alley as far as a medium coverage foundation. I feel like you could share it out too really well with a moisturizer. So I'm going to try it again in the summer. I really did like it. This shade is WN30 or Biscuit, and I was shade match for this in September, so I was just, you know, still living my best life with my tan skin, which is probably why it's the wrong color for me. This is the Natasha Denona Foundation X, and this is in the shade 40N, and this is my second bottle of this. I truly love this foundation. I feel like it goes on, it looks beautiful. It's kind of got this like dewiness to it without being super dewy, and it also kind of mattifies in all the right places. I just feel like it's the perfect foundation for me, even though it's a full coverage foundation. And because it's a full coverage foundation, I steered clear of it for a very long time, but it is the best lightweight full coverage foundation I have ever found. I love this stuff. You need to shake it up really well every single time you use it. Otherwise you will hate it. It does come out quite liquidy, but I really love this because it's got like almost that perfect like warm but also olive piece to it without being yellow or green. So I love this foundation. I think it's a beautiful foundation. It will stay in my collection for the long haul. I do have these two items as well. These are two concealers in my collection. I have this Revlon Candid concealer, and this is in the shade 027, which I think is, yeah, this is Biscuit. This isn't a bad concealer. I don't wear concealer super a lot. I do feel like this one is really light and works really well as a concealer, but I feel like this one's just a smidge bit drying to me, especially on my under eyes, and I don't like anything dry on my already parched under eyes. It's also not a concealer that I could wear all over my face as a lightweight foundation, which I have done before with concealers because I don't wear concealers very often because it's so drying. So that will also be decluttered. I really kind of fell in love with this concealer. So this is the Milani Conceal Imperfect. I've heard really great things about this concealer as well. This is in the shade 125 or light natural medium beige. And this was a really great concealer. The doe foot on this isn't as cool as the doe foot on the Candid concealer, because the one on the Candid concealer kind of scooped and it was really cool. It was a cool doe foot. This one is just a straight doe foot, which I don't think is gonna make or break a concealer, if I'm honest. I really liked this. It was nice and emollient. It went on to my under eyes without like really drying them out or exacerbating any kind of texture that's on my under eyes. And if I did see any creasing, I could just tap my under eyes and the creasing would go away, which is perfection for me. I did find that this was also one that I could wear kind of all over my face as a lightweight, really super lightweight foundation. Put some of this concealer on and then push it into my skin with also a moisturizer on top of that. It works so well. So I really like it. It'll stay in my collection even though it's a concealer. I have this Bye Bye Pores by IT Cosmetics. It's a pressed powder and this is in the shade Translucent. So I tried this, you guys. I tried this multiple ways and I'm just not a pressed powder person, so let's start there. Why I purchased this is because I got a really long class, a really great educational moment from IT Cosmetics. And they spoke about this powder so well that me, a girl who doesn't wear powder, wanted to go out and purchase this powder. I hate it. I hate it so much. I mean, I tried pressing it in with the little cotton dude that's in here, or the spongy dude. It's more like a, you know, those triangle sponges that you can buy. It's white, right? So I feel like that white became part of the makeup that I had on my face, and it really dulled down anything that I had on my face. I also feel like it paled out anything that I had on my face, and I'm already a pale princess and I don't need to look like I never see the sun. I loved how it felt on my skin because I don't feel like it really caked into my skin, and I really also don't feel like it looked super powdery except for like on my forehead. I am decluttering this powder. It's just not a powder that I ever see myself pulling for ever again. So sad because that's not cheap. And I purchased that straight up. So I also have this. This is the Algenist Reveal Concentrated Luminizing Drops. And so this normally sits in my highlighting drawer because technically it's luminizing drops and it's a highlighter. So it looks like this. It's just, you know, this really beautiful pink drop. And then this is what it looks like on your face. And I feel like it could be a really beautiful highlight. So where I found it really showed itself was mixing it into some of my foundations. The shine that you see on my face for the most part is this because I mixed it in with this. And I think it's beautiful. I think it shows up as a very lit from within kind of product when it is used in the right way with the right foundation. So I will be keeping this in my collection, which is a shock, honestly, because liquid luminizers are not something that I use all the time, and I really thought I would be getting rid of that product. This is the highlighters that I brought in, and most of them did not get used because I was too focused on using the one from the bronzer drawer that you'll see in a second. I did, however, use these both, so I am going to put these back into my collection. I really enjoyed them. I thought that they were really beautiful, and I'm really kind of excited about that because they're loose highlighters, and I don't typically steer towards a loose highlighter. This one is in Summer Haze, and I think this one was in another Shop My Stash, but this is it. And I just think, you guys, look at how pretty that is. It's just pretty, and it's not like flaky, like glittery, like anything. It doesn't look super horrible as far as like a powder goes. Even though it's a loose powder, it doesn't exacerbate anything on your skin with the powdery nature of it, and it's just really beautiful. They look like natural on your skin because they're such a finely milled loose powders. This Morphe Spark, it's one of the only products from Morphe that I have that I can honestly say I absolutely love. This is a beautiful highlighter as well. I just feel like it's really natural looking. It's not like super in your face. It's kind of got a little bit of a pinky glow to it, but I love it. So it'll also stay in my collection. Another one that I will be pulling out is this one. This is new to my collection. This is the Illamasqua Beyond Powder Illuminator, and this is in Risque. When I purchased this, I was like, I think this might be too dark for me to wear. I'm very sad about this. It's absolutely too dark for me to wear anywhere on my face. It makes it look like I have a bruise. I am going to hold off on decluttering it just because I think if I get more tan, it will mix with the color of my skin just a little bit better. I knew better. I knew better when I bought this, but you guys, this is, yeah, how can that not look like a bruise? I will keep this, hold on to it, and use it as a eyeshadow because it is stunning. But that means it'll come out of my highlighter drawer and it will go into my eyeshadows, which seems ridiculous because of the size of this contraption and the fact that it will take me 900 years to get through. It will be staying in my collection, but it will be leaving this Shop My Stash. The Ritual Defy Moon Pillar Rare Light Cream Luminizer. I did use this and I loved it. This is a cream product and it is a little bit on the like purple iridescence side, and It was so beautiful. It was so beautiful. You just have to have a very specific like eye look to make it look right on your skin. But look at that. How pretty is that? Like, I could go ham on my like pinks. It would probably look good with my eye look today. I would say that that cream product is not nearly as creamy as, say, like the Rare Beauty blushes, or I mean, even as creamy as like this highlight stick from Ciate. It's very hard. It feels like powder almost when you first put your finger into it. But as you like start to move your finger around, it does warm up underneath your skin, and it just goes on so beautifully with your finger or with a sponge. I would not suggest using it in any other way. The rest of these I did not use, so I am going to keep them in this Shop My Stash rotation. I have the Huda Beauty 3D highlighting palette. I didn't use any of these from the Fenty Kilowatt Foil highlighting palette, but I'm excited to try and use it as a highlighter over the next couple weeks. This Flesh highlight I also didn't use. This is the Flesh highlight in Jump. I'm excited to try that out. And then these two items I also didn't use. This is the Ciate London Dewey Stick. And I feel like this is really rather pretty, but I also feel like it's one of those sticks that's maybe going to look better with certain eye looks. And this guy here, this Glow Milk, I haven't tried him either. I'm excited to have another liquid highlighter in, and maybe I'll put it in with my foundations like I did the Alginist one, and we'll see if we can get more use out of it that way. So then let's talk about blushes and highlights. So first of all, this is the reason why I haven't used many of those highlights. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Film Star Bronze and Glow. This is her limited edition one with the Swarovski crystals on it. I got this in my Beautylish bag last year. This contour is amazing. This highlight, more amazing. Like, I remember kind of watching Anna talk about this product and be like, she's out her mind. That highlighter's not a highlight. It's a powder. It's just a powder. It's not amazing. This is a beautiful highlight. I am wrong. I have been wrong before. I am wrong now. This is a beautiful, beautiful product. And I could not put that highlight down. It's such a beautiful, like, natural highlight that goes just kind of all over. And you don't have to worry about it. This is a no worry powder highlight for a mature aging skin. It's a beautiful highlight. The contour also is kind of that perfect shade of warm yet cool yet not gray as far as the contour goes. I really enjoyed this. I had a great time with this product, and I will continue to keep it into my collection. This Kvd Crush on Blush. This is the highlight and blush duo in Gamma Ray and Nova, and this is what it looks like. I am not like a super huge fan of this highlight. It's really pretty, but I feel like it has a lot of glitter in it, and that glitter like isn't like chunky. It's really fine glitter, but because I am old, I just don't like glitter. I don't like glitter. And if you're not new here, you know that I'm not a fan of glitter. So I didn't really love this, but I did love this blush, and it is what I am wearing as a blush today. And I feel like it's really kind of this pinky neutral tone that looks very natural on my skin. So I really kind of love it. I'm going to keep it in my collection because of that blush. If I could get that pan out of there somehow, I would. Another blush that I really love that I couldn't put down is this one. This is the KVD Everlasting Blush in Rosebud, and it looks so scary. But I am a like a dark blush or a natural blush or an orange coral blush kind of person, and I was astounded by how much I wanted to pick this up. This is so pretty. It goes on beautifully, and it feels so silky on the skin. It's just such a really pretty blush. It blends out really nicely. It shears out to more of a like a natural kind of feel to it. I love this blush. I'll keep it. It's so silky. The next thing I have is this Ritual Defy Desire Inner Glow Cream Pigment, and I put this in as a blush. I think that's what it's supposed to be. I 100% don't know about this blush at this point in time. Like, it is dark, which is fine. That's what I purchased it for. I wanted a dark blush, but when it comes down to it, it doesn't blend out to much less darkness. I like it, don't get me wrong. It's just because it's like that harder packed cream, right? It's not like Rare Beauty. It's not gonna like cream and, you know, slide all over the place. You have to really warm it up with your fingers. It's almost more difficult to work with, but at the same time, it lasts so long. So because of that, I will keep it in my collection. I just have to figure out how to work it right, because otherwise I'm gonna end up hating it. This Rare Beauty Nearly Mauve cream blush, and this is what it looks like. You guys, it's a lot creamier than the Ritual Defee ones. I feel like you get a lot more to work with on initial application. You don't have to warm it up a whole lot, so you can use a brush, you can use, you know, a sponge, you can use whatever you want to put this on. I feel like it went on best with a sponge. I also feel like this went away like super quickly. So I think that it maybe is just a smidge bit too creamy. This isn't very forgiving for your powder products, whereas the Ritual Defee one, I feel like you can put on top of powder products and it doesn't really disrupt them. So I am going to keep this in my collection for now, but I think I'm going to maybe put it in to a Shop My Stash rotation again next year, and like maybe during the summertime, and see how I feel about it specifically. The next one I have in here is this Tower 28 Beach Please Power Hour blush, and you guys, I'm just not as fascinated by these as everyone else is. So I feel like these have that hard cream in them, like much like Ritual Defee. You'd really have to stick your finger in. You really have to kind of work your magic. What I would say is that this is less workable than the Ritual Defee one, and I just feel like I maybe got the wrong color. I wore it like 3 times before I was like, this is way too dark for me. Again, it's a product that I really have to figure out how to use, because I really feel like it's a long-lasting cream blush, so I really feel like I would get along with it really well. I really do like the longevity of the blush, and I really could get along with this color if I could get it to sheer out at all. I love it, but I want it to be more sheer than that, but I don't feel like I can get it more sheer than that, because it dries on my face so quickly and it just stays for freaking ever. So if you guys have ideas on how to use this better, please let me know. I would be interested. The next thing I have in here is this, and this is the Luminous Loose Blush by Studio Makeup, and I think this is the second time this has been in my Shop My Stash, and I like it. I just don't know that I love it enough to keep it in my collection. I think that it's a beautiful blush, but I also think it's a very pink, but also doesn't stay on my face kind of blush. So I do think I'm going to declutter this. The next one I have is this, and it's Nars Orgasm. I have this one, and I have Super Orgasm as well. And I'm not sure if I didn't love this because of the fact that I feel like it got hard pan. I think that it's maybe just an older blush in my collection. I love that it's kind of got this like glowiness to it. And when I wore it, I didn't feel like I also needed to wear a highlight. But I also don't feel like this showed up on my face at all. Like, I want a blush to show up minimally, but I want it to show up, and this just didn't work for me. Like, how come I don't like it and everybody else does? Am I doing it wrong? That's the thought process that goes through my head. And I will try it again. On the opposite end of the spectrum, I have this by Nars, and this is the Nars bronzer in Laguna. I'm actually wearing this bronzer today as a contour. I love this bronzer. I've worn it as a regular bronzer, but I really love it as a contour. I also have this in a fuller size. This actually will be, I mean, this is a spoiler to my project pan intro for 2022, but this actually I'm going to put into my project pan because I do have a larger size of it, and it is something that I enjoy, and it's something that I could see being able to pan for 2022. It'll be like one of those like long-term products because bronzers take forever to get through. But I do think that I created quite a dent in it in the Shop My Stash, so I'm really excited to put it into my project pan. And that is what my plan is for that guy. The next One that I had is this one. This is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Bronzer, and this is in Nude Bronze Light. This is a recent purchase to my collection, and I purchased this because these bronzers are all over, you know, cult favorite again until recently, whereas Hourglass has been kind of like canceled because they don't have a great shade range, and I agree. But this is a beautiful bronzer. I love Hourglass powders, if I have to be honest. Like, I have not had an Hourglass powder that I didn't love. The first few like months of me trying the Hourglass blush, I hated it because I felt like it didn't show up. And since, you know, growing up in my makeup aesthetic, and I loved that powder because it was more of a natural yet beautiful blush, and the powders are just so silky smooth. I feel the same way about the bronzer. I will keep this in my collection until it is gone. I love that bronzer. One that is going, however, is this guy here. The Trustique Contour Color and Contour Cheek Stick, and this is in Brazilian Bronze. So it's got a brush on the one end. This is the bronzer. Now, you guys, I really liked this color, and the first couple times I wore it, I was like, oh yeah, I'm in love with this. It just blends out with a stripe exactly where you put the product. And even when I'm using a brush with it, it's really patchy. And even if I put the stripe on and then use this brush, I can still see the stripe of the product where I put it. It just doesn't want to move. It just doesn't want to blend out. So I can't afford that kind of product in my collection, specifically when I have better products in my collection. So this is gonna go. All right, so right off the bat, there are 3 lip products that I am decluttering out of the lip drawer. I have these ones here. This is the Makeup Geek Showstopper. I cannot tell you what shade this is in, but this is rancid. It's gone bad, but also it's pretty much gone. So I'm gonna call this a panned because I did used to wear it all the damn times. These two I'm gonna call decluttered because these smell so bad and they're so thick and it's just disgusting. So these are the Kat Von D Everlasting Liquid Lipsticks, and they are in Bow and Arrow and Lolita. Lolita is one of my favorite colors in her lipstick line, to be honest, so it really pains my heart to have to get rid of Lolita. But I have had these for years. I've had these since they came in BoxyCharm, and I haven't subscribed to BoxyCharm in 2 years. So, you know, I know that my liquid lipstick collection is probably pretty old. I haven't bought a liquid lipstick in eons. I knew that there was a potential that these were going to be bad, and they definitely are bad. This Lip Strip Smoothing Sugar Scrub by Laura Geller, I've had in my project, or my Shop My Stash now for the entirety of the year. It's still not gone. I do use it. I use it about once or twice a week. I think that I will get it gone, but I think I'm going to put it in my project pan next year. And I love that lip scrub. It's a really nice lip scrub and it tastes good too. The Becca Glow Gloss. I am wearing this glow gloss today. I love this glow gloss. It still smells really good. It has like kind of a minty smell to it, and it still's got a great consistency. So I am going to keep this in my collection. I have this guy, which, you guys, I kind of broke the container because when I looked at this and I knew it was a gloss, I thought it was a doe foot, and it's not. It's a stick. So this is the Marc Jacobs Enamored Lip Gloss Stick, and this is in the shade Wet Your Lips, and I believe my business partner Audrey gave me this, and I feel really awful because I broke the container, but I love this. I love this so much. I use this all the dang time. It's just such a beautiful, pretty lip gloss. Do you guys see this? It just won't go away. I've wiped it off twice. That's that Brazilian Bronze by Trustique. It just won't come off. And I also have this lip gloss, which is the Lipstick Queen Meteor Shower. I loved this. I thought it was a beautiful lip gloss. It looks like it's going to be gritty because it's kind of gold and has like gold flecks in it, but it's not gritty, and it's really pretty, and I will continue to hold on to it. Lipsticks, I have these. This is the ABH in Praline. I loved this lipstick. It's a beautiful lipstick. It's not too dry. I really like their lipstick formula. Their liquid lipsticks are not where it's at, but this was a really beautiful color for like just the center of my lips for a little bit of contouring my lips. This one, and that's rather new in my collection. This one is so old in my collection. It's a Kvd Studded Lip Stick. I don't even think that they sell these anymore. But it still smells really good. It is in the shade Lolita. It's super creamy still, so I am going to keep this in my collection as well. And then I have this one from Lorac, and this one is in Secret Agent. And I just don't feel, again, I've had this forever, but I just don't feel like it's changed. Like the formula of it hasn't changed. It still goes on really, really nicely. It's very, very creamy. So I will be keeping that in my collection as well. So as far as lip liners go, this mellow one I just think was the wrong color for my lips. It's very baby doll pink, and I'm not gonna wear like a baby doll pink lip liner with the colors of lipsticks that I pulled. And I also didn't really love it on my skin with the glosses that I pulled. So I'm not really sure about this color, but it is a very creamy lip liner. So I am going to hold on to it because I will wear it on its own as a lipstick. I also had this one by Zoeva. This is one of their graphic lips liners in Earthbound, and I loved this color actually. It was a really nice color with even the lipsticks that I pulled in, so I will be keeping that. This one is Thrive Cosmetics Gislans. I feel like Gislan and the Zoeva one are so similar in tone. I feel like the Gislan is maybe a little tiny bit darker, but not by much. I think that Gislan is almost gone though, to be honest. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Lip Cheat in Pillow Talk. And as much as I hated that lipstick, you guys, I love this liner. So this one is in Pillow Talk Medium. I will keep this in my collection. And it is like so tiny now. This was a full size. This is the Colourpop lip liner in another round. I'm not like a super fan of that. It looked very almost like concealer lips on my lips. I think that it's just too corally pink for me, so I am going to declutter this lip liner. I'm going to give it to my daughter because I do think it'll look good on her skin. And then I have this one in Dukes, and this one I think is dry, so I'm going to declutter it. It is a Colourpop X Bretman Rock lip liner it is in the shade Dukes. And the reason why I say it's dry is because this piece comes out. Again, here we are. This was one of my favorite colors way back when. This just isn't a color that I wear anymore, number one. Number two, it is dry. So even though it feels creamy on my skin as I'm swatching it, I know that on my lips it looked really dry, and it is, you know, the lead part of it is coming out of the component. So I know it also needs to go. So as far as eye product goes, I finished an eye primer. This will be in my year of empties. I did finish it before we rolled into January, so I did take a picture of it with the other products that are in my year of empties. These two guys are beautiful. They work beautifully. I think that I was really actually kind of shocked because we've been trying to go through my whole Stila collection, and we've come across a lot of them that are dried up. I think the difference for these two, this one is a shimmer and glow, so it doesn't really have all that glitter in it. And this one, I don't know what the difference is for this one. This is just such a pretty glitter and glow. Like, I couldn't part with it. So I'm really glad it's still in a place where it's really juicy still, as far as its makeup, as far as its formula. These are still really nice. This one, I'm not really sure that I loved, if I'm honest. This is what it looks like right here. I feel like it's really pretty. It is a gorgeous shadow, but I also feel like it exacerbated texture quite a bit on my eyes, and on my wonky eye where I have like problems towards the inner corner. Like, I couldn't even wear it as an inner corner shadow because it exacerbated all the like crepiness there. I feel like this kind of bugged my eyes a little bit, and I feel like it got really too dry for me to wear it. So I will be decluttering this to my daughter. She will love that. The next two products are these two things. These are the Colourpop Super Shock shadows. I always have a problem saying that. I do have, what is this? Millionaire. Still feels really super creamy, really nice. It goes on really well. I think that it is just, I mean, really at the end of the day, I just don't know if it's a color that I love. So I do think I am going to declutter Millionaire. And then I have this one, which is so quiche. And it looks like this. It is a little bit on the drier side, to be honest. But I feel like it goes on really, really well. It looks really, really nice. And it is a little bit more of a color that I find that I will use. I actually popped it on to the center of a couple eye looks and it looked really nice. It's got a little bit of purple flecking in it too, so it looks really nice on a purple eye as well. I just think that I will use this color more than I will this one, and this one is a little bit more on the drier side, so it's either use it up or get rid of it. It might also be a product that I put into my project pan next year, because I feel like if I really focused on it, I could get a lot more use out of it. It could go away out of my collection quite soon. This was a beautiful pigment. So this is the Jelly Pong Pong Cosmetics Pigment in Pulsar. And I found that I just really loved using this on the center of an eye look. Put on some like pigment glue and put it on the center of an eye look. It was a beautiful like center of the eye look shade. I loved it. I will continue to use it. I love pigments because I feel like they never go bad, to be honest. I have this one here, which is a loose shadow, which I would say is a pigment by Bare Minerals. I've had these in my collection for probably roughly right around 12 years if I really sat and thought about it, maybe even longer, honestly. And this one is in the shade Aztec Gold. So here's the thing, much like Millionaire, like I just don't see this being a shade that I will wear. So I do think that I am going to declutter this guy. I just don't really love gold. And then I have these three products here. This is the NYX Pigment Glue. This is a really great pigment glue. I really like it for both pigments and glitters. I don't know what the difference between a pigment glue and a glitter glue is, but I felt like that one worked for both. All right, last I have this. This is the LOC eyeshadow crayon in Heavy Metal. This was a really beautiful like brow bone inner corner shade. And that is really what I use these eyeshadow crayons for. So there's that. I think at the end of the day, that's 16 items here that I'm decluttering out of my collection just from this round of Shop My Stash. And this is one of the biggest reasons why I love these Shop My Stashes, is because I'm getting real familiar with my product and figuring out what I love and what I don't love. And I'm really glad to alleviate some of the mess in my chaos. And just really start to focus on the products that I love to use in my collection. So with that being said, I'm going to push all this stuff to the side and we are going to start going through the drawers to pull for my new Shop My Stash. Okay, we're going to start over here with lips. This is all of my lipsticks in my collection and my balms and whatnot. You'll know, I've showed you this before. I think what I want to pull are... I think I want to pull this, which is a lip stain in my collection. I don't think I haven't even ever used this, and I've had it in my collection now for a while. This is by ABH. So I am going to pull this in. I think as far as lips go, crayons, let's pull this in as well. This is the Tarte Exposed Lip Crayon. I really kind of loved these lip crayons at one point in time, so I am going to try this one again to see how I feel about it. I'm also maybe going to pull in this one by Bite Beauty. This is in the shade Glaze, and it is actually a really decent, just like kind of mauvey tone pink. So I think that's it for lip crayons. Let's go down to lipsticks. I think I'm going to pull in these two mini lipsticks by Clinique. I do have Bear Pop and Mocha Pop, so Bear being on top, Mocha being on bottom. And I am going to... Okay, I think I'm going to pull in these three lip glosses. I have this one by Clinique. Here, this is Pat McGrath. Both of the other two are Pat McGrath. One is in This one is Fetish 2, and it is just kind of a brownie gloss. And then this one is in, I think it says Naked Rose on it, I'm not really sure, but it's kind of a glittery one, but it's not like super textured, honestly. So these are just minis, but we're going to pull those in. And then from the lip liner perspective, I think we should go with, I think I want to put a brown one in here for the brown glosses. So I do have this one by Juvia's Place, and this is in So Rare. I think this is a liner that I purchased and realized that I really didn't like, but I'm also going to pull in the other Juvia's Place one, and this one is in Love Me, I think. Yeah, this one is in Love Me. So one's pinky, one's brown. I think also, let's pull this one in from Huda. This one is in the shade Spice Girl, and this, as you can see, was a full size. It's now not. So this was one of my favorites for a very long time. So I think from the lip perspective, that's all I'm pulling in. Okay, these are my blushes. And I think that this is going to be, you know, pretty easy, if I'm honest. Because I don't think I'm going to pull any of the singles in this time. I think I'm going to pull in this because this is new to me and I want to use it. It does have 2 blushes and a bronzer. I mean, 2 blushes and a highlight in it. So this will help bring a little bit of newness to highlights as well, because I'm not going to pull any new highlights in. This is what that looks like. So it does have 2 blushes and a highlight. So I'm super excited about that. The other Ritual Defy blush, which is this one here. This is in the shade Lovesick, and this was initially the one that I really wanted, so I have swatched it, but I haven't like tried it. So I'm going to try that. I also want to pull in, so I guess that's a single, right? I also want to pull in this because, you guys, I pulled this into my collection eons ago, and I haven't even used it yet. So I'm going to pull in these 2 blush palettes. I feel like that gives me a good range of blushes, so I'm not going to pull any more blushes in except for this one, which is a single cream. So that's it for blushes. Then we have bronzers and contours, and then these are some highlight palettes, but I'm not pulling in any more of these. I'm not pulling in any of these palettes because I just can't right now. I just can't. So from a bronzer perspective, I do have quite a bit of newness in my collection, honestly. I think, going to pull in this. This is a Kvd Aquan bronzer. This is in Sundown Deep, and it is the Neo bronzer by Kvd Aquan. So I am going to pull this in as a bronzer. I am also going to pull in this one by Vesca. I have used this once, but I really want to get more familiar with it. This is in Kissed by Santorini. It is a bronzer by Becca, and that is what it looks like in the pan. It does appear a little bit orange to me, but we'll see. I also want to pull in another cream bronzer, so we're going to try this one by Yensa. This one I got in an IPSY quite a while ago, but I haven't even opened it, so we're going to try this guy out as a cream bronzer. I've heard a lot of great things about this cream bronzer, so that's it. And that is all we're pulling in for bronzers. I'm not going to pull any more highlighters in, so let's flip you all around and we'll look at foundations, powders, etc. You're going to be able to see me go through primers and foundations, concealers, correctors, powders. I don't pull new mascaras in, and I don't pull eyeliners in. I like to really kind of be able to use those as I see fit, because I don't just have a standard black eyeliner, but all my mascaras are standard black mascaras, and I don't like to filter through those products as much as, you know, you would normally see somebody filter through those kind of products. So I am going to start with this. This is a brand new primer to me. This is the Professional Light Primer. This is supposed to be Benefit's like clean, professional version, and it's got no silicones, it's got no anything. I mean, it's water-based, it's beautiful, supposedly, so I am going to try it. This is new to me. This is a gratis product. Let's try this one. This one is a primer I have never used as well. I'm going to turn down these lights just a little bit. This is the Tula Skincare Prime of Your Life Probiotic and Superfoods Smoothing and Affirming Treatment Primer. Long ass name. So I am going to try this primer as well. So I do have 2 primers in my collection, and I reserve the right to pull in something that I know I love if I hate those. So there's that. I am also going to pull in, I think, the Marc Jacobs Remarkable. This, if I remember correctly, was too light for me during the summertime, so I feel like now is a good time for me to pull it in. And I'm going to see how much I love that going forward. And then I am also going to pull in, I think, this, which I haven't used yet. This is more my speed, but this is supposedly full coverage. So this is the Urban Decay Hydromaniac Tinted Glow Hydration Medium Coverage. 24-hour wear, like tinted moisturizer of sorts. I do have the shade 41 light medium, so I'm excited to try that out. I am also going to pull in this one, which is new to me as well. This is the Glowish Multi-Dew. It is also kind of a tinted moisturizer, and I have the shade 04 light medium. So I have one that I've used before. I want to see if it's the right shade for me now, and two that I have not used before. I think that also, again, I reserve the right to pull from what I know I love. So there's that. From concealers and correctors perspective, I think the concealer that I'm going to pull in is this one here, which is the Stay Naked Correcting Concealer. This is in the shade 30NN. This is a really good match for me. I do like this concealer. It's really nice and lightweight and has a really great coverage, and I don't feel like it exacerbates any texture or anything like that under my eyes. But I am also going to pull in one I haven't used, which is this one, the Flawless Fusion Ultra Wear Concealer by Laura Mercier. I have the shade 1.5W, so I haven't tried this one. I will try it. We will see how that works for me. And then from a corrector perspective, I'm going to pull back in this MAC Studio Fix makeup palette, the corrector palette. I love this thing. I think it's fantastic, so I'm going to pull that in. And then from a powder perspective, so I'm trying to be smart about it. I think I'm going to pull in this only because it does have some product in it, and I think I could probably over the next month use the rest of the product in this, and then maybe, you know, maybe get rid of it. It is a retractable brush in my collection. You open it up, and when you open it up, the product does come out. I mean, this is an old product for me. This guy does come out. It is refillable, so I don't want you guys to think that the product in here is like 15 years old, but I do believe that this thing I got like 15 years ago. So I'm not sure that I need to keep it though. If I remember correctly, this brush isn't necessarily the most friendly to my face anymore just because it's so old. So I do think that this is the powder I'm going to pull in. This is the Bare Minerals Hydra Veil retractable brush powder. And I really think that that's it from a powder perspective. Actually, I might pull in this. This is the Becca Soft Light Blurring Powder. I've tried her, oh my gosh, Hydra Mist powder in a little tiny sample size version of it, and I hated it. I do have a full size down here. This is from Gratis, so I'll be trying it again in a full size mindset, but I have never tried this one before. And this is the Soft Light Blurring Powder, like I said, by Becca Cosmetics. Becca is no longer in business, so while they do have some products selling from Smashbox, this is not one of them. So I'm excited to bring these guys in. Powder that I've tried before and I know I like, and a powder that I've never tried before. So I've kind of got that same mindset going on with all of my products, honestly, that I'm bringing into this. I think from a single eyeshadow perspective, I'm not going to bring any of my glitters or anything like that in. I need to give my eyes a little bit of a rest. I am going to bring in these Clinique Cosmetics single shadows because I have had them in my collection now for just about 6 months, and I'm finding that I'm not getting as much use out of them as I want to, and I coveted these so much in my collection, so I just need to get some more use out of them. So I'm going to pull in these from a single shadow perspective, and that is it. So with that said, these are the shelves that I fill up with product. You guys can see all of my highlighters already in there, so I'm going to fill up the rest of those drawers. They're super grubby. I need to maybe wash them out sometime very soon. It's not going to be today though, so I am going to get you focused in. I'm going to turn you a little bit, and we are going to focus on filling up these drawers with the products that I pulled. So I'm going to put you on fast forward, and we're going to get going. Okay, here's what I did. I put these here because what's going to end up happening is I'm going to put these on top of my vanity. That way I remember to use these guys, and they don't really fit in any of these drawers. I did try and separate them in a way that made sense, but truly if I'm going to use a product, this is how it makes sense to me. Typically I have my single eyeshadows in here, but because, or my eye products, I guess, I'm going to have this one in here. This is the Pero Primero primer by Almar Cosmetics, so I am going to put that in here as my eye primer. But that's the only product in here, so I'm not going to take these out of the palette, of course, and put them in here, but this is typically where like all my eyeshadows, my single eyeshadows go, but these are the only single eyeshadows that I'm bringing into the Shop My Stash rotation. This one is for lips. All things lips are going in here. So then all things blush and bronzer go in this section, all things highlight go in this section, and then all things base go in this section. And if I tried to stick this into any one of those drawers, I simply would just never pull for it. So I am going to keep it making sense to myself. This will go onto the top of my vanity so I remember to use it. But for now, that is what I have for Shop My Stash. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm so sorry it's a long one. It's always a damn long one. I do hope that you guys enjoyed it. Oh, here, let's do this. I'm going to put this in as an eyebrow brush, and that way our primer doesn't have to sit in here all by its damn self. So I just feel bad because it's sitting there all by itself. It's all lonely like. So that is what I am doing. That is how I do it. I am so happy to be filtering in a Shop My Stash all year long this year, and I hope that you guys are going to be, you know, excited to see it as well. Thank you guys so much for coming today. I do hope that you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed my synopsis of the products that I use. I hope that you enjoyed seeing me declutter like 15 items out of my collection. I would love to have you along for this crazy ride of mine. I know that you'll be welcomed in by my amazing YouTube fam, and we would love to have you here. With that said, thanks so much, guys. Enjoy 2021. I hope that it's treating you well so far. I hope you and yours are safe and good and healthy and well, and I hope that you're loving each other, but loving each other from afar. And until next time, bye, friends.